you go.
Welcome to Shell, everybody. Saturday Night Knights hockey. Puck drop imminent here in Shell Arena. Knights versus St. Albert 611. Campbell with the draw. He'll win it forward and push it in front of Correa. Correa battling for it in the corner. He's got Campbell with him. Nice push from Campbell. Gets the defenseman off the puck there. Keeps it in deep. He's got Jacobs battling there with him. He'll push it back to the point for Breen. Breen with a shot through traffic. Ooh, nearly tipped by Campbell there. Rolls into the corner. Correa still battling for it. St. Albert will throw it up off the stanchion, right for Durecci. He'll put it off Jacobs' leg into the corner. And St. Albert this time will dump it all the way down. That should be icing. Yes, it is. And it will come back. Good start for the Knights. So far, the play has been in St. Albert zone. We'll see how that continues. Pressure from Bridges, puck for Bowman. He'll strip it and give it to Bridges. Shot off the pad of the goaltender, loose puck in the slot. Bowman picks it up and spins around with it. Puck up to the point. Shot from... That's Andries there, filling in for Bonikoski today. He puts it on net, and the goaltender will cover that one up. Good pressure from the second line out of the gate here as well. Bowman to Gow. And St. Albert, pressure from Hudson, but St. Albert will make it through the neutral zone. Good stick check from Gow, puts the puck to the wall. Bowman in there with Lemab. Centered puck for Andries. He'll collect it with his feet and get it out of the zone. Nice chip. St. Albert at their own blue line, off the wall. Puck is missed. Hudson pushes it forward, but it's right onto a St. Albert stick. And it's back into the corner now. Back behind the net is Frey. His centering pass, Hudson ends up with. And Hudson will carry it through neutral ice. And he'll dump it into the corner and get a change. Yes. Ooh, that shot off a post. Far post. Puck is now behind the net. St. Albert battling for it. Loose puck in front. That's off Brady's pad. And collected by one of our APs. Sent around the wall, kept in by St. Albert. There's three APs up playing today. Good stick block there. And he'll spin that around and send it down the ice. That'll be a icing, however, and we'll come back into our own zone for the face-off with 12:37 to go here in the first. Into the zone again. Noonan trying to drag it with him. Durecci will put that one on net. Big loose puck. And Noonan gets the rebound, but couldn't put it around the big goaltender. He'll hold on to that one for a face-off. Knights win the draw behind the net. St. Albert first to it. They'll try and work it up the wall. Kept in by Noonan. The centering pass picked off by him. It's back into the corner. Rolled around behind Avery. And a centering passes into feet. St. Albert will get hold of it though and send it into the zone. No icing. Green there pressuring. He'll strip the puck and send it into the other corner. St. Albert, some big forwards out there. Up the wall for Jacobs. He'll center it for Avery. It was out in front of him, a little too far to reach. Defenseman for St. Albert will get to it first. St. Albert dump it in softly, and it's chipped back out to center ice. Back to the St. Albert blue line. Bouncing puck. Lemab will collect it at his own blue line. Spinning back to the ringette. Cross ice for Andries. Up to Bridges. Bridges will carry it in and dump it into the corner for Campbell. Campbell gets there. He's got it in his feet. He's battling with a few bodies. St. Albert able to walk out with it. Bridges and St. Albert a wide out pass there. That's shot off the blocker of Brady. Good save. Rolls up to the point. Kept in. Our AP number 4. Andries pushes his way to the net. Gives it to Gow. Gow couldn't get all of it. The backhand rolls to the goaltender and then behind the net. Deflected at the goalie. Didn't realize it was coming. And St. Albert will dump it out of the zone. Andries will go back for it. He'll send it through traffic. It's nearly picked off. Bouncing puck at center ice. St. Albert will get hold of it and send it deep. Lemab goes back for it. Behind his own net. He'll reverse for Andries, who wasn't aware it was coming. Battle in the corner there at the goal line. Campbell in there with Andries. And Bridges. Bridges will sneak out with it. He's got a bit of room. He'll nearly make his way around the defenseman, but just left it in reach of the big defenseman. Chip forward for the center, I believe. His centering pass across ice just bounces out of the hands of number 6 for St. Albert. No shot. And Frey skates into that one. It'll clip up the wall. Gets chipped out of the zone by number 13. St. Albert will dump it back in, and Frey will go back for it. Frey playing defense with Boyce today. Boyce blocks that one, but it rolls onto a stick for St. Albert. Center passes just off the toe of the stick and back into the other corner. Van D tries to get that one out of the zone. It's kept in and chipped out now, all the way down. Icing waved off on the deflection. St. Albert missing the lead pass. It'll go all the way back to Breen. Breen through the neutral zone for Bowman. He tries the backhander to 13, and he'll get the bouncing puck back, making his way into the zone, able to get a stick on it and push it in deep. Still battling for it there. Comes back to Breen. Breen's got some room. He'll fire with no one in front. Good shot. Goaltender blockered that into the hash marks, and St. Albert will come back the other way. Kapler with it. Strip, it's set in front of the net. No shot again. Kapler makes a nice move at the ringette. And at center, he's tied up, but able to get by the man. He's got Jacobs in the middle. His shot into the goaltender's glove. Goalie will corral that one, and we'll get a face-off to his left. Andries tries to center it. It gets to Jacobs. Jacobs pushes it back to the point for Kapler. St. Albert with numbers in the slot. They'll come back the other way. They bobble it at center ice, though. And they'll throw it forward. Now Lemab going back for it in the corner. He'll ring it around for Correa. Correa's got pressure coming. He'll get stripped of it, but it makes it out of the zone. And St. Albert, he stays with it and strips the man back. Giveaway there between Correa and Jacobs, and St. Albert will dump it all the way in. Andries goes back for it. He'll push it, reverse it behind for Hudson. Hudson with pressure. Pushed back in the other corner now, back for Andries. St. Albert still pressing. Hudson now behind his own net. With a bit of space, he'll chip it forward for Jacobs. Jacobs has a bit of space, gets it to Correa across ice. Correa battles his way in. Great shot there from Hudson. Correa forced to come back. No call there. St. Albert fans think there should have been one. That was Noonan behind his own net. Out for Correa at the blue line. Makes its way out. He'll dump it into the zone, and Gal will be first to it. Pressure, getting it to Noonan in the corner. Noonan with some pressure. He'll dump it behind the net, but it's onto a St. Albert stick. Rolled up the wall for Boyce. Boyce will send it right back deep behind the net. Noonan will chase into the corner for it. Comes back to Frey. Frey pushes it forward. It'll go through him, but Gal recovers it, and now it's Noonan chipping it deep again. Noonan around the boards for Bridges. St. Albert player goes down. Chip forward, kept in. Only momentarily, though. It'll roll all the way back to the center ice for Frey. Frey with some space and some time. He'll make a move. Centers for no one, unfortunately. It's the right idea, though. Loose puck. St. Albert, no panic. They come back through the neutral ice. St. Albert around the goal. Makes it around the defender, but can't get a puck past Brady. And Brady will send it down the ice. Or Brady will send it in the corner. Boyce now behind his own net. St. Albert collect the loose puck and throw it short side corner here. All the way around for the defenseman back at the blue line. Kept in. Bridges gets that deflection, and he'll chase for the puck. He's pushed off it. St. Albert able to defend and control that puck. Getting a pass through the neutral ice. No shot there as the puck rolls wide of the net. Van D pushes that one forward for Campbell. Campbell picks that up, sends it into the zone. Van Deal skate into that one. He's looking for a defenseman. Gets it to Breen. Breen with a shot, tips by several sticks, still loose. Goaltender able to jump on that one. Great pressure from the Knights there. Good opportunity. Nice look back to the defenseman and nearly beating the big goaltender. Pressure there, loose puck sent to the wall by the St. Albert team. And they'll carry it through neutral ice. Shot is off the crossbar, over the net. Green pushes that one behind his own net for Durecci. Durecci battling for it. Campbell comes in and picks up the loose puck. He'll chip it to the blue line. Shot, Brady tips that one into the corner. Number 13 for AP for the Knights. He'll send it forward. I'll get a name there. It's a high stick there, drops in front of Green. He'll touch it. We'll get a face-off in our own zone. Knights win the draw. Hudson chips that one to the blue line. It is kept in, but only briefly as Jacob skates into it. He'll get over the center line and send it deep. Correa will be first to it. He'll chip it in front. It's off a skate behind the net. Bowman picks that up. He's got a battle for it. Bouncing puck, bounces high. And Bowman will push it into the corner for Correa. St. Albert intercepting that. They'll come up through neutral ice. St. Albert dumping that one in. Correa will get to it first. He pushes it up the wall for Hudson. And Hudson will chip it off the wall. It bounces to Bowman. Bowman with some speed. He'll get around the man, but he's in offside as he was challenged at the blue line. We'll get a whistle and a face-off in neutral ice.
Well, you knew that was going to happen.
St. Albert collecting themselves and coming out of the zone. 2-on-2 here. Camp goes wide, kept to the outside. That deflected wide of the net. dangerous here. Brady pushing that one out into open ice, and St. Albert jumping on it. He'll get it over the glove hand of Brady, and that'll be a 1-0 strike for St. Albert. St. Albert pick up the loose puck at the blue line. It's a 2-on-1. Centered pass is bobbled. It was a rolling puck. Shot is wide of the net. Loose puck for Durecci. He's tied up. Kepler has gone down there. It's going to be a penalty as stick got tied up in his feet there. So the Knights will go on the power play. APs for the Knights, number 4, Jarrett Andries. Number 13, Jacob Gross. And number 18, Mason Van Dee. Wettering. Lemab with the puck at the blue line. He's got a strike. Oh, he had room. His shot's wide of the net, and it rolls all the way out to center. Andries battles for it. He's got 2 St. Albert players there with him. Mason tries to push it forward. St. Albert will send it back. Jacob comes in with a big hit there at the blue line, and the Knights are back the other way now. Noonan with possession. Over center. He'll get into the zone on side. Looking for an open stick. Sends it out front. Goaltender read that one and chipped it out of the zone. Minute 20 to go on the power play for the Knights. The Mab will carry it up this time. He's got pressure at center. Makes it through 2 and through another. The stick check comes though, and puck rolls back to Andries. His shot just wide of the net there. Ross will send it forward. No pressure. St. Albert will ring it off the glass and out of the zone. Andries back in his own zone, behind his own net. Has to roll it up to Jacobs. It's through him out to center ice. Campbell skates onto that loose puck, ripping it out. He's got pressure. Can't hold on to the puck. It rolls behind the net. No shot there. He'll get Correa to come in and help. And Jacobs. And they'll both step away, and St. Albert will pick the puck up. Sending it to the point. Boyce couldn't get all of it. He'll battle back, though, and send it deep for Correa. Correa struggling with it at the wall there. A bit of a bobble from the boards there. Puck back through the slot, picked off by St. Albert. And they'll dump it into the zone with 6 seconds to go in the penalty. And the power play for the Knights. Campbell picks up the loose puck, and he'll make his way back. Even strength now, 25 seconds to play. Drop for Frey. Correa will pick it up. He'll blind pass it in the center of the ice, and it's picked off by St. Albert. He'll come back the other way. Shot from well out, and it's across the crease and all the way back to the blue line. Correa picks that one up. He's challenged, but he'll get the puck right back. Bouncing puck. Bridges off the skates. St. Albert will just dump it down. It's tipped by Frey, and that will do it for the first period. We'll take a quick break and come back for number 2 right away. right, quick break on taken care of. Bowman wins the draw. Back to Durecci there, forward for Bridges. It rolls off his stick, and St. Albert will send it back in. It's icing, though, because they're on the wrong side of the center line. So we'll get a face-off in deep. Left of the goaltender. Bridges in the corner. St. Albert will send it up the wall. Durecci watching the man. He gets tripped up. And St. Albert will come in offside there. And we'll get a face-off across from their bench in the neutral zone. Bridges battling for it. St. Albert back to their own blue line. Good skate there from Bridges. Kept it in at the blue line again. It's just outside. Durecci forced to throw it back into the zone. St. Albert try a soft one through center. Gow wouldn't fall for it. He sends it in deep. Bridges and Bowman giving chase, sort of. St. Albert chipping it to the blue line. And now 3-on-2-ish. Building here. Big number two gets it out front. Loose puck ends up on the stick of St. Albert, and they'll tap that one in. Far side.
Just need 6 more.
Maybe.
And 1 for us.
St. Albert out from behind the Knights' net. Walking out into the slot. A shot is blocked by Kepler and chipped into traffic. Couldn't get it out of our zone. Andries, back for it. He'll chip it forward. Kepler picks that one up behind his feet, and he'll make it over center. He's got pressure, though. He'll dump it into the zone, and Gross will go back for it. St. Albert will strip it from him as they have the numbers, and they'll come out of their own zone, bobbling it slightly. Andries will push it forward at center. Noonan trying to battle for it. St. Albert will come up with it. St. Albert with the shot, wide of the net, rolls all the way to the hash marks. Back behind the net now. Andries will pick that one up. He'll chip it forward for Gross. Gross into the zone, still with possession. He's got pressure there from many St. Albert players. Needs some help. No one there. Noonan with a slash at it, but St. Albert able to get out of their own zone again, and they'll dump it in and get a change. Boyce now. Up the wall. Right to the defender, and it's right back into the corner, and behind the net now. Frey battling for it there. He'll get pinched off by another St. Albert player. Centered pass. Rolling puck, couldn't contain that pass, and Correa will take it back the other way. He's got lots of pressure on him. He'll do a little dance, gets the puck deep. Jacobs battling for it there. St. Albert at their own hash marks. The centered pass is made. Chip forward. Boyce gets a stick on it, but it goes right to St. Albert, and they'll bring it into the zone onside. Boyce picks up the rebound. Chips it up the wall. It's kept in. Tip. Bouncing puck rolls into the corner. St. Albert tipping that one well wide of the net. Frey skates onto it behind his own net. He's got pressure, though. He's stripped of it, and they'll come back in front. Shot from the ground, deflected by Brady into the corner. Frey pushes it up the wall. Correa forward for Campbell, but it was in his feet. And now Correa will get another chance at it. He's at center ice, chipping it into center. Gow's able to skate onto this one as it just slid underneath the defenseman's stick. Couldn't get it to Campbell, though. It's picked off by St. Albert, and they'll bring it back out of their zone. St. Albert through center. Shot is well wide of the net, far post, but will roll back to the point. It's kept in. Given to Breen. Breen had a bouncing puck. He fanned on it. St. Albert with pressure behind the net. Rolls out to the slot. Shot through traffic, floating shot. Good save by Brady. Oh, nice centering dump out. Gal couldn't collect that one though. It's going to be icing. It'll come right back into the zone. Bowman with the draw. He's got the puck in his feet there. Gets some help from Breen. Forward to Gow. Gow elects to throw it at center without looking, and it's sent right back into the zone. Durecci now with pressure. He tries to find Gow with it. It's kept in again at the point. Tipped just wide of the net still. St. Albert battling hard for it still. Green's got Bowman watching. Well, Bowman will pick up the loose puck. He's got a bit of space. He'll put it off the back of the net for Bridges. Bridges has some room. He'll send it forward for Gow. Gow collects that one. He'll get into the blue line and dump it in and then chase it down. He bumps a man off the puck, but it rolls away from him. Lemab from the point, shot through traffic. Loose puck. Oh, Gow couldn't get a stick on it. And it looks like the goaltender knocked the net off, so we'll get a whistle. And a face-off to his right. Good pressure there from the Knights. It looked dangerous. Need a few more looks like that before this second period is out here. Down 2-0. With 19 to go here in the second period. Puck rolls up the wall. Bowman battling for it. St. Albert able to dump it out at center ice. Andries will pick that one up. He'll skate forward with it. Tries to make a move. He does. He gets around the defenseman. Nice puck in front. Great pass from Andries. What great look. He finds Van D out in front, all by himself on the far post, and that one is directed behind the goaltender and in. And it's all of a sudden a 1-goal game, thanks to the AP players. So it's a 1-goal game. Bowman wins that draw and pushes the puck forward by himself. Gets to center. Nice centering pass. Nearly found Correa in front there. Pardon me, Gross in front there. Puck popped straight up. And St. Albert forced to send it all the way down. We'll get another face-off deep in St. Albert territory. Knights will get some fresh legs out on defense. And also up front, so we'll have Correa, Jacobs, and Kepler out to take the draw here. Boyce and Frey on defense. Kepler won the face-off behind him, but St. Albert skated right onto it as the winger was waiting for it. Frey picks up the loose puck at his blue line. He gets stripped at center and sent back into the zone. Boyce will collect that one. Boyce with some time. He'll send it cross ice for Frey. Frey with a bit of room. He'll send it softly through center. It's deflected back to Boyce. Boyce will chip that one to the blue line. And it's kept in briefly, but bounces to center. Frey did well to control it at the center. At center, he'll dump it in. St. Albert at their own ringette. They'll find an open man at center ice. It's a bit of a 2-on-1 here. Boyce able to get back, no shot. And St. Albert will keep it at the hash marks, trying to make their way to the net. They won't. It goes right to the point. Correa blocks the shot from the point. Shot with his off his stick, off the side of the net, behind the net. Frey getting bumped around there by two players. St. Albert finding an open man, but no shot at the net, so he'll dump it around the corner. St. Albert's going to take one for head contact from the looks of it. And that will put the Knights on the power play. Face-off will go all the way back into their zone. 13:35 to go here in the second, just down by 1. Knights will go on the power play for 2 minutes. Noonan will take the draw. He wins it to Gow. Gow back to Breen. Breen with some space. He's got trouble, though. He tries to make too many moves. He's stripped of the puck, and St. Albert will come back the other way. Big number 3 over the blue line. Looked offside to me. No call. St. Albert still with possession. Loose puck for Noonan behind the net. He'll slow down. He'll assess, gets out to his own blue line. He'll dump it in, takes a bump for his troubles. St. Albert will get to it first. They'll ring it around the wall. Green has it bounce over his stick, but Gal will pick up the loose puck. He'll settle it down, gets it down low for Breen. It's out of his reach, though. It'll roll all the way around to the other corner for Spencer. Spencer to Breen. Bad bounce behind the net, rolls right to St. Albert. And it'll be pushed out to Durecci. Durecci struggling with it. The ice is a bit rough right now. Bridges sends that one across for Breen. Breen back to the far post, trying to catch Spencer with it. They're just a little too far ahead of him. Durecci does well to keep that one in the zone. Bridges is able to push it forward, but right onto the stick of big number 3 for St. Albert. He'll send it all the way down. It's back behind the net, and Breen will go back to collect it. 50 seconds to go here in the power play. Breen misses the pass to Durecci, and St. Albert send it back deep. Breen this time around the other wall. Bounces for Campbell, but it rolls off of his stick. Bounces favorably for Bridges to Campbell. Campbell has traffic. Bridges will pick up the loose puck, carry it in. He'll double back, and he'll go for a change. The puck will come all the way back to Durecci. He bobbles it, and St. Albert will send it in deep. Andries will bring that one out with speed. He's got some room, makes a nice move around the defender, rolls it into the corner. He'll chase it back down. He'll find space, send it out to Lemab at the point. Lemab shoots into 2 bodies. The puck comes to St. Albert. Lemab able to keep it in briefly, but only for a moment, and then it's sent in offside. Bouncing puck. St. Albert will collect it again. Andries will pick it up. He's got pressure, though, and he's tired as he's been up and down the ice a couple times on this power play, which is now over. It's even strength. St. Albert with numbers. Andries makes a good block. Puck still makes it to center in the slot area. No shot, though, as it was behind the player. Good puck forward to Van D. He gets it to Gross. Gross pushes his way over the blue and into the St. Albert zone. Still got control of it. He's got 2 on him, though. He's got help now from Bowman. Bowman tries to center it for Van D, but it was behind him. Lemab makes a great play. Keeps it into the blue line, carries it forward to the goal line, off the side of the net, though. And St. Albert will collect it in the corner and bring it out through center. Over the blue line, into the zone onside, making it around the defenseman. Shot is wide and high of the net, rolling puck. Controlled by the big defenseman. He'll try and find open man on the far post. Good stick from Frey, kept that pass from getting there. Battle ensuing in the corner here. Ross, Bowman, and Boyce rolls out to big number 4 for St. Albert. He misses the net well wide. St. Albert dumped that one behind the net. It bounces over everyone's sticks into the near corner. Back out to the point again, kept in and pushed down low. Boyce will be first to it. He'll push it right back down the wall where everyone is. And it's kept in again. Pressure there from Gross. Frey trying to push the puck out of the zone. And he'll get some help from Bowman, but it's still kept in. No pressure on that St. Albert player. He'll dump it in and go for a change. Centered passes through all kinds of legs. Ends up again on a St. Albert stick. And that shot from a poor angle bounces off a tired group and into the net for St. Albert's 3rd goal. They go back to a 2-goal advantage. .924 to go here. Durecci will go back behind his own net with pressure. Skates away from it. Gets a nice pass up to Jacobs. Cross ice for Correa. He wasn't able to make it past the defender there. Loose puck in the neutral zone. St. Albert will send it in. And they're now in offside as it gets pushed back out by Durecci. St. Albert will dump it in again. Breen has a rolling puck. Couldn't push it out of the zone. It's right back behind his own net. Durecci to it first. He'll bring it forward. Tries to find Kepler with it. It rolls past him. not heavy enough for icing, and Jacobs will give pressure there. Kepler picks up the loose puck, trying to get to the net. Massive head contact hit there by the captain from St. Albert. Just a blatantly dirty hit. And he's likely to get a big penalty for that.
Who got hit?
Pardon?
Who got hit?
Kepler. So 8:39 to go here in the second. 3-1 for St. Albert. Big hit there in the slot in front of Brady.
5 minutes.
Quick break here. They're going to call that one a major penalty, which means he will be out of the game. That one was straight to his head. Kepler up into the bench. It will be a major penalty, 5 minutes. And so the captain will be sent off. It was great. So the Knights will go on the power play for 5-minute major, which means they'll have the full 5 minutes advantage. 3-1 the score here. Knights with an opportunity to make something happen here. Noonan will take the draw. He's got Correa and Jacobs up front with him. Jacobs back to Durecci. Durecci puts it on net. No traffic though. Goaltender will cover that one up cleanly and hold on to it for a face-off. They will switch sides, come to his left, and we'll try that again. Durecci and Breen on defense. Puck one to the wall there. Battle for it with Correa. It's sent all the way down the ice. And Brady will step out for it and leave it for Breen. Breen has pressure. He'll step away from it. The slip away again. Gets the puck forward to Durecci. Durecci sends it across to Jacobs. It was deflected. He couldn't quite control it. Breen makes a nice play in the neutral zone to collect the puck. Jacobs steps away from pressure. He'll send it across for Noonan. Noonan will dump it in. Goal! Kept in at the point by Breen. Shot is deflected. Loose puck. St. Albert wanting it more, and they'll pull it out of the zone. And they'll walk it over the blue line, firing it in on Brady. Brady will chip that one into the corner for Breen. Rolling puck. Durecci pressured there. It'll roll to Correa. Correa with some speed out of his own zone. He'll get into the zone and chip it to Noonan. And Noonan's shot in the slot was deflected by the defenseman and sneaks over the goaltender. And the Knights come up with one on a nice pass from Correa into the slot. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-goal game. The power play will remain. So the Knights will stay with the man advantage. Have another opportunity here to potentially equalize things. St. Albert able to win that draw and send it all the way down. Brady will leave it for Andries. Andries with pressure. He's tied up. Lemab will pick up the loose puck and roll it around for Campbell or Andries. Andries will end up going back for it. Nice chip forward to Campbell. Campbell has a chaser, and he doesn't have an option. He'll carry it himself deep. Gets pushed off the puck. Gow will step into it. Loose puck into the far corner. St. Albert with some room. They'll send it to the blue line into skates. And Andries will get that one from Lemab. He's got pressure again. Knights needing to pick up the pace here as the pressure from the St. and St. Albert is constant. They are pressing hard. They'll dump it back in again. Let's go, Knights! Lemab forced back into his own zone. He'll collect the puck again and send it through neutral ice, trying to get it to Gao, who was on the other side of 4 players. Didn't quite make it there. Andries will pick up the loose puck at his blue line and carry it into the zone. His shot off the leg. Loose puck for Bridges. Bridges will skate and drop it for Lemab. Lemab through traffic, deflected into the corner. St. Albert will get to it first, and they'll send it all the way down the ice. Rolling puck makes it to the ringette line, where Boyce will pick that one up and bring it back behind his own net. He'll carry it out of the zone as he gains speed over the center line. Unfortunately, 13, Mr. Gross pushed in just a bit early. And that'll be called offside, so we'll get a face-off across from the Knights bench in the neutral zone with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the power play. 5:47 to go here in the second period. It's a 1-goal game. Noonan will take the draw. St. Albert chip it into space. Van D gets to it first, into the legs of the lineman. St. Albert get the loose puck, and they'll send it all the way down the ice. Boyce up to Gross. Gross chips it for Frey. Frey with speed, tries to make a move. It drops, he gets another shot at it, puts it on net. Wall, Gross drops it for Durecci, floating puck right at the goaltender. He'll jump on the loose puck. Although he dropped it first, so there was an opportunity to slash at it. Puck back to the point. Durecci able to keep it in, out of traffic, or out of through traffic, pardon me, at the net, pushed into the corner. Gross with it again. He's got Bowman with him. Chips it around behind the net for Green. Green with some room. He'll step forward, tries a bad angle shot. It rolls all the way to the wall. Van D gets pushed off of that, and St. Albert will chip it out of the zone and all the way down. 1:05 left to go in the power play. Pressure again from St. Albert. And they're going to call a head contact penalty. No, they're going to call interference on Green, I believe. Yes. And that will negate the power play. It'll be even strength 4-on-4 for about a minute. St. Albert with the face-off win. Shot from the point as a floater. Brady pushes it out to the hash marks. It rolls back behind the net. And Andries will get to it first. His centering pass is nearly picked off. Noonan's able to push it forward. It's out of the reach of Correa. It's back to him, though. He'll chip it at the net. And no pressure, so St. Albert will stretch a pass. Just bobbled slightly. Andries is able to get back and cover the man. Lemab picks up the centering pass, chips it forward for Correa. Correa will try and walk forward. He gives it to Noonan. Noonan with a shot off the goalie's mask. And it drops in front of him. He's able to put a glove on it. And it'll still be even strength for the next 21 seconds. Boyce with it. He's got a lineman in front of him. Loose puck bounces again favorably to St. Albert. And Frey will have to play it at his own blue line, or at center, pardon me. He'll throw it back forward as even strength comes to an end here. Knights able to corral that. Frey will send it down the ice. We're shorthanded, so it won't be icing. St. Albert in their own zone, pressured there by Jacobs. They'll finally make their way out. That pass well in front of the player. It makes it all the way behind the net, and Boyce will get a hold of it and send it over the blue line. St. Albert blue line, for that matter. St. Albert will have to make their way back into the zone again. Drop for number 2, chip forward, off the blocker behind the net. Loose puck in front, good save. An excellent second save there by Brady. Keeps that one a 1-goal game. That's the way, Brady! Face off 1 to Durecci there. He'll chip it forward. It's kept in at the blue line by St. Albert. Down low to the wall. Campbell gets the loose puck, and he's able to get it past the defender to center ice. St. Albert will dump it back in as that penalty expires. Even strength now. Durecci behind his own net. Gets it to Bridges. Bridges has a bit of space. He'll make a move. Gives it to Campbell on his way through the neutral zone. Gets around the defender. Tries to center a pass. Late stick check there. He'll collect it behind the net. Tries to bring it forward. Can't get a shot off, though, and St. Albert will bring it back out of the zone. St. Albert into the zone. Green with a great defensive play. It's pushed forward but not out. Green will collect it again. He's got pressure. He goes down. And Campbell's in there helping him out. Campbell will skate out with it. Campbell through traffic. Through the man coming out of the box. Chipped across for Gow. Gow will finish. Great pass from Campbell to Gow in his feet. He does very well to bring that to his stick and get it around the goaltender in tight. It's a 3-3 game all of a sudden. St. Albert will collect the loose puck off the draw, send it in deep. It's a 3-3 game all of a sudden as the Knights make a great effort to get it to the net. Nice pass across from Campbell into the skates of Gow, and he brings it forward and sneaks it around the goalie. Andries rolls it around to Van D. Mason chips it forward for Gross. Gross couldn't get quite all of it. It rolls into the zone. Bowman will pick up that puck as it was brought in by St. Albert. He'll wait for the zone to be cleared as he brought it back out, sends it deep behind the goal. Lemab with a pinch, he's able to keep it down low. St. Albert looking for an out. They'll push it back up the wall again to the hash marks and carry it back in behind their own net, D to D. Chipped up the wall. This time they'll make it out the short side here with some speed. Makes it all the way past, but a great save by Brady. And the defenseman tried to stay with him, just enough pressure that he couldn't get around Brady there. Nice shot from Bowman, loose puck. Ross couldn't get a stick on it. St. Albert will bring it back the other way. Chip back into the zone by Van D, and the forwards will get a change. St. Albert with a bit of space. They'll slowly come out of their own zone through center, bouncing puck to Jacobs. Jacobs will carry it in, walks around the defender, tries to center it. It ends up on the stick of Correa. No, it doesn't. It rolls into the corner and just sneaks past Frey. Correa will make his way back. St. Albert still with possession over the blue line into the zone. Good save from Brady into the corner. And loose puck rolls to Frey. Frey behind his own net. He's got pressure. He pins it wisely, knowing there's not much time left as time runs out here in the second period. It's a 3-3 game. It's all down to the last period. We'll get a clean from the Zamboni, take a break, and come back for the third. Welcome back for period number 3. St. Albert pushed that one to the defenseman. Lemab will chip it into the neutral zone and into St. Albert territory. Correa gets to it first there, giving the defense some trouble. Noonan takes a cross check there. Takes a hard one off the rib cage. And Andres will hold him up at the blue line there. Puck goes to Correa. Correa for Noonan through traffic. It's turned over. Walking to the net. Yeah, wide open man on the far post. Knights got a little too creative there at their own blue line, and St. Albert capitalized. So they go up 1 with 19:30 to go here in the third period. Knights will have to battle that one back. Wrong choice. Campbell battling for it here at the center. He's got Gal with him. Gal will walk out with it, chips it for Bridges. Puck still pushed forward, but St. Albert will pop it over their own blue line and carry it into the Knights zone. Loose puck in front of the net. Still loose. Come on, Brady able to make the second save. Bouncing puck through the slot. Rolls to the wall. Campbell battling for it there. He'll push it up to Gal. Gal able to get it out of the zone. Couldn't get a stick on it to push it forward. Breen was able to get it to center, but St. Albert will dump it right back into the zone. Durecci fan on that clearing attempt. A shot from the slot. Good save from Brady. That shot well wide of the net. Rolls out to the hash marks. Centered again. Loose puck. Gow battling for it. Great save from Brady there. As St. Albert are elusive in the slot and getting some opportunities that look dangerous here. Brady with the save and face-off to his left. St. Albert win that draw, walking into the slot. The shot is bobbled. It's not really a shot, just rolled in the net. Brady pushing it into the corner. It's sent out of the zone and will likely be called icing. Nope, they waved it off as St. Albert likely got a touch on it. Van D pressing there. St. Albert chip it from their blue line right to Frey. Frey off the wall for Van D. It's right under the stick of St. Albert, and they'll bring it back over the line. Shot, no problem for Brady as he sees that one all the way. He'll glove save that one, hold on to it. We'll get another face-off to his left. Kepler wins the draw. Frey up to Van D. Mason pushes it forward for Kepler. And Gross is in offside. And so that'll be whistled down. We'll get a face-off in front of the St. Albert bench. You betcha, at neutral ice. Knight's able to dump that one in. I believe it was Kepler, and Gross will give chase. He'll bump his man. Loose puck picked up by St. Albert. St. Albert without pressure, nearly turning the puck over. They'll recover and send it to center ice. Lemab now, cross ice for Andres. Tries to chip it around the player and bring it in. He'll have to go back to the wall for it. Centering passes off a stick. St. Albert back the other way. Pressure from Jacobs at center. And Lemab able to strip the puck. Still battling for it there. St. Albert able to keep it in play. Seemed like a lot of head contact there. No penalties for either team, it seems. Ross will pick it up and carry it around. He'll get stick checked, but he's able to get it into the zone as St. Albert dumps it in for him, and he'll be first to it in the corner. Pressure there. St. Albert first to the loose puck. Bowman able to pick it up. It's in his feet. He's trying to get to the net. He will pick it up from just behind him, get a shot off. The goalie was ready for it. He'll cover it up for a face-off. We'll get a face-off to the St. Albert goaltender's left. Bowman will take the draw. He's got Jacobs And Correa up front with him. Breen and Durecci on defense. Bowman ties that one up. Correa wasn't able to pull it out of the feet, and it'll come into the neutral zone. Breen with a nice play at the blue line. He'll collect himself and send it into the zone after his teammates clear. Jacobs pressing, Avery pressing. Goes back to Breen at the hash marks, or pardon me, the ringette. Correa lines up a shot from the goal line there. It rolls behind the net. It's now out at center and into Knights territory. Breen back behind his own net. He's challenged. He'll lose the puck. Centered pass. Correa tried to skate into that one. The puck, was bouncing and it rolls back into the corner. St. Albert with possession again. St. Albert walking through traffic. No one seemingly deciding to put a body in front of the player. Knights finally able to get it out of the zone. It'll roll forward for Correa. He's got Jacobs in the middle. That was a stick right to the hands, no penalty. He'll recover and carries it around again, sends it across for Boyce. Boyce will shoot that one quickly. Goaltender not able to corral it, but the referee lost track of it. He'll blow it down. We'll get a face-off to the goalie's left. Noonan wins the draw to Boyce. Boyce will chip it into the far corner as he didn't have a line of sight to the goal. Good pressure from Noonan. Gal picks up the loose puck. It's rolled back around. Bridges isn't able to corral it away from the St. Albert player. Tap back into the zone by Noonan. Big hit there from Bridges behind the net. And St. Albert able to collect it and send it down out of the zone. Frey from behind his own net. He'll chip it forward for Bridges. Bridges has it stripped off of him. St. Albert with pressure here. Turning and firing at the goaltender. Loose puck at the side of the net. Battle ensuing there. Boyce battling for it. St. Albert. Noonan rolls away with it. He throws it up the wall and it's kept in. That shot deflected several times wide of the net. Thrown back across the crease. Bridges will not get to it first, but it will bounce to Boyce. For Bridges. Now the Knights in trouble as Frey's the only one back, but he was able to collect that puck. And it's pushed out to center ice. Frey will skate into it. He'll end up going himself. Loose puck again is given to Gross. He'll push it forward for Campbell. Campbell has it stripped off of him. And it just makes its way out of the zone. Van Deel push it back in. Knights able to clear. And now Gross and Campbell pressing. Loose puck goes to Lemab. He'll chip it into the neutral zone and it'll be into the feet. Andries will push it back to Lemab, just out of his reach. Andries will recover it. Andries now, cross crease to Lemab. Centered for St. Albert, it's deflected. It will not be icing. Rolled around to the hash marks. St. Albert looking for an open stick. They will find the second man wide side. Albert in behind the defense. They're able to get a shot off and at a good angle and beat the goaltender over the blocker. It's now 5-3 with 13:44 to go here in the third period. Knights down by 2 with a good portion of the third left to play. It'll be an uphill battle from here. Puck rolls back to Breen. He'll chip it forward through traffic. It ends up on the goaltender. He'll try and push it forward. Kept in by Breen, off bodies. He'll get another stick on it and send it deep for Campbell. Campbell with pressure. He'll tie up the puck. Gross picks up the loose puck in the corner. Trying to chip it back to Breen. He will get it there. It's tipped high and wide into the corner. St. Albert will chip it to the blue line. It's kept in briefly. Puck in the feet of Gross, but St. Albert will collect it and send it to center ice. Durecci battling for it. He'll send it back to Breen. Breen is deflected to the blue line and dumped right back in by St. Albert. Green will collect things behind his own net. Stepping forward, tries to get it to Campbell. It's out of his reach. It's touched by St. Albert at the center line and icing waved off. St. Albert now at their own blue line. Good stick check there. It rolls to Correa. He'll dump it in. He's offside though. And Boyce will touch it, knowing full well it was offside. We'll go right back into our own zone.
Yeah.
Kepler with the win off the face-off there. Boyce will skate into it behind his own net, reversing, chipping it up to Correa. And St. Albert were able to collect it. Kepler gets another chance at it. He'll push it forward for Correa. Correa with some steam, bobbles the puck there at the blue line, and St. Albert will come back the other way, 2-on-2. Good stick from Frey, pushes the puck into the corner. St. Albert with it though. Kepler back checking. He'll pick up the loose puck behind the net and he'll double back the other way. He'll send it cross ice for Jacobs. Jacobs with pressure. He'll chip it into the feet of Frey, who kicks it out to center ice. Frey picking that puck up at his own blue line. He'll make his way back through neutral ice. Correa skating into that one. Puck stays in the neutral zone, and he does not. Knights will have to dump it in, clear the zone, and then try again. Good pressure from Bowman there, but St. Albert recovered. Give it away again, this time to Gow, who didn't expect it, but he'll battle for it. He'll get possession now down low. Trying to avoid he gets a pass in front for Bowman. Bowman just not able to tuck it in short side. Gow still battling for it. Could use some help back there. St. Albert with it at the hash marks. They'll send it cross ice. A good angle pass, but I think it'll still be blown down as icing, and it is. With 11:10 to play here in the third, it's 5-3 for the visiting St. Albert 611 team. Faceoff will be back deep in their zone, this time to the right of their goaltender. Bowman with the draw. He'll win the puck, but St. Albert will step onto the puck in loose behind the centerman. The Mab just able to push that one out in front of Bridges. He tries to catch Bowman with it, but it's out of his reach. St. Albert will come back the other way with speed. Centered passes through everyone. And Andre's able to strip the puck there. He'll bring it into the zone with some speed. Stick checked away from him. He's got pressure from two men. Needs some help there. St. Albert will get space and make their way back through their own zone. With speed, walking around, no shot, wrap around, rolls across the crease and then under Brady. So Luberta comes up with the save there to keep it a 2-goal game with 10:25 to go here in the third. Noonan with the draw, battle ensuing at the hash marks there. Durecci working hard for it there. St. Albert will roll away from pressure though and send it back to the point. Roll back down low. Durecci will get to it first. Softly up the wall for Van D, but St. Albert are in better position and they push it back low. Rolling puck in front. Breen got enough of that one to send it out into neutral ice. And St. Albert will give it away to Noonan, but it bounces off his stick right back to St. Albert. And St. Albert are right offside, no whistle. Shot is wide of the net, loose puck. Durecci tries to get it around to Van D. He will get it there for Breen. And chipped into space by Breen out to center ice. St. Albert will dump it right back in, and Durecci will be forced to chase it down. St. Albert will get to it first, but they skate over it. And Durecci's able to push it to Noonan, out to the blue line. It's kept in, only briefly, as St. Albert drag it out with them. Green will try again. He'll chip it into the feet of Van D. It's given away. Shot from the point. Good save from Brady. Deflected high to the wall. Noonan will pick up the loose puck. He's got a bit of space now. He'll pick up some speed, give it away at the blue line. Fortunately, it rolled out to center ice. And Breen will have it back again. He puts it off a skate. And this time we'll make it cross ice for Campbell. Jacobs and Campbell battling for it. They're able to keep it in, but only briefly, and St. Albert will skate onto it out to center. Frey able to keep the man to the outside. Shot is off of the shoulder of Brady and behind the net. Frey will chip it forward for Jacobs. Jacobs will walk it out from the hash marks and send it across for Boyce. Who's in his feet, he's able to chip it forward for Correa. Correa making it into the zone. Not with control of the puck though, and St. Albert send it back to center ice. Frey hits the skates of Boyce, and St. Albert go on the breakaway. Unfortunate turn of events there as the puck passed through traffic, goes off a skate, and St. Albert capitalize on the breakaway, putting another one behind Brady, making it 6-3 with 8:12 to go here in the third period. Puck to the wall. St. Albert battling for it there with Hudson. Rolls across to Andres. Andres will send it forward to Correa. And Andres will pick that one up, try to skate it through center. It's given back to St. Albert, and they'll dump it into the zone. Lemab will have to go back for it. He'll chip it high into the netting, and that'll be blown down. We'll get a face-off deep in our zone, this time to the right of Luberta. Andres with the puck off the draw there. Face-off won by Kapler. And the Mab trying to battle for it. He'll push it up the wall for Gao. Gao goes down trying to get to it. Battle ensuing. Lemab will push it back behind the net for Andres. He's got a St. Albert player in front of him. It's chipped for Spencer, but way out in front of him. Shot comes across the crease into the corner. Up to the ring end. Gao battling for it. Hudson able to chip it out to center ice. Bridges gets to skate onto it. He'll walk around the player. Goaltender just got a piece of that one as he tried to go far post. Loose puck. Spencer there for the rebound. Just bounced behind him. Good pressure here from the Knights. Puck back through center. Big number 2 from St. Albert, building some speed through the neutral zone. He'll try and walk to the net. The puck rolls there. He does not, as the defense hold him up. And Brady will cover up the loose puck. We get a face-off to his left on an interesting opportunity there for the Knights. Just not able to put it past the goaltender. We'll get another face-off left of Brady. Bowman, I believe, out to take the draw. He'll win it into his feet, bouncing puck. Durecci ends up with it, tries to catch Bowman with it. It's cross ice over the red line. Van Deel skate into it, bringing it forward into the zone. St. Albert at their own ringette. Cross ice pass, and then up through neutral ice. Foot race for it. Durecci gets there first. It's pushed down the wall. St. Albert get a stick back to the point. Shot through traffic. Good save from Brady. But loose puck on the side of the net. Durecci ends up with it. He'll push it forward for Van D. Van D tries to pass it through a body, and it's bounced back. St. Albert pick up the loose puck. Great save by Brady there as St. Albert were able to walk into the slot. And he'll hold on to it for another face-off to his left. 6:23 to go here in the third. 3-goal gap between the visiting St. Albert Saints and Sherwood Park Knights. Noonan wins that draw cleanly for Frey. He'll try and make his way around the big number 9 there. He does. Gets it forward for Correa. Correa is able to drag it out to center ice, just under the stick of Jacobs, and St. Albert will send it right back in.
What a cheap shot.
Loose puck in front. Frey able to push it out to the blue line, but not out. Knights doing well to keep that one out of the back of the net. Correa skates through that one. Puck stays in the zone. It bounces for Noonan. Noonan rolls that one at the blue line and decides to dump it in. Puck up the wall. Noonan picks that one off, trying to get it to Jacobs. Battle ensues. Still battling for it there. Jacobs will throw it at the net. It's just wide. Correa will get to it first. He'll send it back to Boyce. Boyce fires that one into traffic. It's pushed into the corner by Noonan. Jacobs trying to get there. Kept in by Frey. Frey makes a nice move out of pressure. Gets a shot off. Tipped well high. And that'll be blown down as a high stick. Knights starting to look a little dangerous there, although they were right at the end of a shift and looking rather tired as well. They'll get a whistle and a safe face-off in deep. We'll get some fresh legs out there. Nope, never mind. It'll be outside the zone. It's a high stick. Face-off will be in front of the St. Albert bench. St. Albert will end up with that one at their own blue line, chipping it through the neutral zone. It's pushed into the corner. St. Albert centering pass through traffic. Bridges picks up the loose puck. He's got pressure coming, gives it to Gow in open ice. Got pressure there, loose puck. Campbell not able to turn hard enough to keep that one in the zone. It'll push back to Lemab. Lemab through traffic gets pushed off the puck. Bridges couldn't get to that at the blue line. Andries will pick up the bouncing puck and go back to his own blue line. He's looking for an open stick. He'll find Campbell with it. Campbell makes a nice move into the zone. Gow was wide open, but he was just pushed off the puck at the last second. Campbell still battling for it. He'll bring it out in front into skates. Lemab will pick that one up. He's got two men on him. He'll leave it for Andries, who skates into it. Andries doubling back. His shot's just wide of the net. Loose puck behind the net. Gow battling for it. Rolls wide. Bridges there for it now with Gow. Pressure. St. Albert roll it back behind their own net. Campbell giving chase. Kept in by Andries. Thrown into the corner. Gow with it. He'll try and find Bridges in front. Just couldn't quite get all of it. Just rolls wide of the net. Good play by Lemab there. Bridges battling for it. Back to Lemab. Shot through traffic. Bouncing puck. Kepler ends up with it, but he couldn't get enough of his stick loose to get a shot off, and St. Albert will clear it down the ice. Good pressure there from the Knights. So close. Interesting that they called that one icing. It just must have flopped over the red line before it was touched. So it will come back, this time to the right of the St. Albert goaltender, with 3:42 to play here in the third. Kepler with the draw. He wins it cleanly back to Breen. Breen keeps it in, but puts it right into St. Albert traffic. And he'll get another chance at it. Whoa, that deflection by Gross just off the post, short side. Van D couldn't get a stick on it in front of the net there. It was as it was centered from Kepler. St. Albert with speed into the zone. Kept to the outside by Durecci and Gross. Back to the point. No shot. Good block there by Gross. Clear, tying up the lanes. Shot was missed, and Van D tries to get it to Gross, but he's gassed at the end of a shift. And St. Albert will make their way back the other way. That cross-ice pass, well wide and out of the reach of the St. Albert player. It'll be offside as it makes it over the goal line prior to being touched. So we'll have another face-off in St. Albert territory, this time again to the right of the goaltender. Knights will get some fresh legs out there. We got Bowman to take the draw. He's got Jacobs and Correa up front with him. Frey and Boyce on defense. Face-off one. Jacobs to Correa. Correa fires one off the goalie's pad as the goalie came out and played that one well. St. Albert skate into a loose puck in the neutral zone. That's got to be offside. No call there. St. Albert's shot well wide and over the net, and there's going to be a penalty for tripping to, I believe, Correa or Boyce. I believe it's Boyce going to the box. So the Knights will go on the penalty kill with 2:36 to go. Down 3 here in the third period. Face off to the left of Brady. St. Albert win that one. Back to the point. Shot through traffic. Great save by Brady. That one's right into his shoulder. He corrals it, holds on to it for a face-off. No rebound. 2:32 to play now in the third. Still about 1:56 left in that penalty, although it's not on the board. And the Knights do well to send that one all the way down. St. Albert from behind their own net. A little bit of pressure from Jacobs, and Bowman deflects that one. Loose puck rolls to Jacobs. He's got a partial break here. Not enough speed to get past the other two as he was a bit flat-footed making the transition. And St. Albert will press their way back. Regrouping now with pressure from Bowman and Jacobs. They'll push it to a flat-footed man and give it right to Bowman. Bowman has that one kicked off his stick by Skates, and St. Albert will try again, slowly. Cross-ice pass given to Lemab. He'll send it back in. With 1:45 to play in the period and about 1:06 left on the penalty. St. Albert behind their own net. Up to the blue line and through neutral ice. Stick check is missed there. Shot is deflected over the glass. And that'll be a face-off to the right of Brady, I believe. Maybe even to the left. No, we're going to go to the right. Nope, it'll be to the left. So from where it was shot, 1:27 to go in the period and 50 seconds left in the power play for St. Albert. Clean win by Noonan into the corner. Green challenged there. Green able to hold it, fending off two players. Time dwindling down here. Noonan will pick up the puck and bring it out of the zone. He'll chip it into the zone, takes one for the team as he does so, and he'll get to it first. Battling for it, St. Albert will get loose and send it back the other way. Durecci keeping his man to the outside. Centered pass is deflected behind the net by Correa, sent out to the slot. Shot blocked by Durecci. Couldn't get enough on it to get it out of the zone. St. Albert with a shot straight into the glove of Brady as he saw that one all the way. He'll hold on. We'll get a face-off to his left with 42 seconds to go here in the third. Face-off won by the Knights. It will come out of the zone. And St. Albert will dump it in offside. They'll have to check up before they can get back to pressure. Campbell out of the box for the man coming out of the penalty box. Nearly walking away with a breakaway there. He will chip the puck past the defender this time. He's looking for Bridges in front. Bridges gets it off the goaltender's pad. Nice pass from Jacobs, but they couldn't beat the defense. Couldn't beat the goalie there. And with 8 seconds remaining, St. Albert will get dragged down again. Shot wide of the net, 2 seconds to go. Knights will finally touch it. Penalty to be called, but that'll be it for the game. It'll end 6-3 for the visiting St. Albert team. Thanks for joining us. Next game won't be until next weekend. Another home game from Shell, I believe. We will see you then. Well, some of us will see you then. Thanks for joining us. Take care.